online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads from over 200 countries and your #1 source in after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans. Producing aftershows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows. Interviewing celebrities and showrunners. And bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
What's up, everybody? You're tuned into AFTERBUZZ TV for Black Jesus Season 1. We're at episode 6. It was titled Love Thy Neighbor Part 1. I'm your host, Bamm Ericsen, and I would like to introduce our panel.
Thaddeus Massey's in the house.
And I was going to give you a nice big round.
Oh, please, yes. I'll just sit here. I'm sorry.
Okay. This lady, she is the brilliant lady who is responsible for casting of the Black Jesus series on Adult Swim. What a terrific job she's done. Please put your hands together for AFTERBUZZ welcome for Amber Bickham.
Amber Bickham's in the house. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Good. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me on this hot, hot summer day.
Mm-hmm. How are you enjoying the success of the show?
It's a little unreal.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy that so many people like it, and every Friday afternoon when the ratings come out and we've won the night before, I'm blown away. I can never get used to that.
Yeah.
So it's really exciting to be the most watched show on a Thursday night on cable. There's so many cable channels, so for us to be #1 is amazing.
So do you sometimes sit back and be like, yep, that's me? I did that. Do you just have moments to yourself? You don't, you know?
The first week, because when the trailers came out, especially the extended trailer that was super hardcore, and there were so many people hating, and we had the change.org petition, and there was so much resistance before the show even aired. So when we won that night, and not only did we win that night on cable, we beat Fox, we beat NBC, we beat ABC, and we beat the CW. The only network we did.
Yeah, check that. CBS. Adult Swim in the house, banging on people.
So when I read that, yes, the cast and we were very happy, and it was very in your face. But I'm humble now every week, and I'm humbled every time that I see it now.
Okay. Well, we want to get your thoughts and perspectives because, you know, you were there from the beginning. So let's just go right into Thursday's episode. So Jason has quit his job at the valet.
Yes.
And he's now working back with Black Jesus and the crew.
Jesus.
With Jesus. He's working for Black Jesus and kind of / Miss Tootie.
Yes.
Because he's working with the sauce.
Yes, he's cooking the sauce.
He's cooking the sauce. So now he quits his job, and so now he's back with the crew. And when he had the conversation with his girlfriend Diane, you know, she's pissed. Like, you know, you quit your job.
Yeah. You
broke the rules. Give me back my Jordans.
Yeah, she just bought him $300 J's as a reward for the job, and then he quit the job low key. I would want my J's back. I'm sorry. Not that I would buy $300 J's for a man that I had to beg to get a job, then had to get him a job myself, and he's a valet. So I don't know that I would reward him with $300 J's.
Can I say something?
Sure.
I valet. What's the...
No, I'm just saying,
no,
like,
she's basically saying, like,
it's just $300.
Right.
Yeah, like, that's a lot of money. I wouldn't do that.
And why should she reward him with getting a job when he should already have a damn job?
Yeah, he should already have a job.
I'm trying to defend Jason, but it's really difficult just because I want to play the other side. But there was one thing that he did say. He says that, you know, he got the job. Now he got a job now that pays more. That's hustling forward.
Right.
Do you buy it?
That makes sense, though. But, I mean, think about it. It's like, okay, you shouldn't want the J's back. She should want the J's back if he just quit his job and wasn't working. If he upgraded to a better job, it's all about a matter of just having a job. She shouldn't have to micromanage her man and be like, I don't want you hanging out with those bums, blah, blah, blah. If he's working and he's making more money, then that's like common sense. Why would you work at this job making less money when you could work over here. Make
yeah,
more
but
money.
he didn't like the job. So I feel like him reminding her that it paid more was just to try to get her onto his side. He would have worked at the garden even if it paid less. He didn't want to work at it. He didn't want to be a valet.
Well, let me just say this. So if Diane has the right to take the shoes back, what the hell is she going to do with the shoes? She can't take them back.
She could put them up on eBay. Somebody will buy them.
Okay.
Or Amazon.
Yeah.
Or Craigslist.
Or Craigslist.
Or there's that new pawn shop in New York that's just Jay's. Have you guys heard about that?
No.
No.
There's a pawn shop.
Oh, hell no.
There's a pawn shop
You
that a
gotta be
guy
kidding
started
me.
in New York that's just Jay's.
That is so smart.
Isn't
whoever
it?
that dude is who came up
Yeah.
with
That
Ship
is
them
pretty
on
dope.
out.
that. Jordan's Pawn Shop. Let me look this up right now, you guys. This is
We're in
crazy.
the middle of an interview. You can't do it right now.
Now we're gonna go back. We're gonna go
There's a lot
back
of
to
control.
Jason later on in the show. So then now we have Black Jesus at Miss Tootie's house. You have Jason stirring the pot for the sauce, and so now they're selling veggies to the garden, and then they're selling the tomatoes to cannabis organizations. What do you guys think about that?
I don't know why the cannabis organizations. I mean, you can take that mainstream, especially if it's just based on if it's
But-
just fruit.
But
I mean, if it's
Jesus didn't want to force God's love on anybody. He wanted it to be your choice. That's why they're not giving it out in the garden anymore.
Yeah, and he did say
He
that.
didn't want to take away free will, because when you eat the vegetables or when you eat the green vegetables, you're filled with God's love, and that has to be something that you want to do. It can't just be forced on you.
Well, they're abusing the heck out of it right now because he
Yes.
didn't give Diane a little bit of bruschetta, and she was starting to feel okay, baby. Like she was feeling herself, like feeling all good. I mean, even Charlie Murphy was. I was like,
it's all love and no fear. There's no negativity in anybody's energy when they eat the tomatoes, which is great. It made me want tomatoes.
it backfired with the whole
but
Vic situation.
Yeah,
for
because he
peop-
didn't
yeah, yeah,
know.
because-
that goes
yeah.
back to it. He didn't know.
But then if they're selling the special tomatoes to the cannabis organizations, people think they're high off of marijuana, but they're really high off of God's love.
Yeah, but at least the people that are going into the cannabis clubs are going in to take something that is going to change them. They're consciously making that decision.
Oh, I see what you're
Whereas the gardener, remember the wife that was really angry?
Yeah.
Her husband didn't know. He didn't make the choice. And
Yeah.
that I think that was the issue that Jesus had.
Drogas.
There are drugs on this
Yeah.
salad.
Drugs on the
Shout out
salad.
to Julia Vera who played that role. She was fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was
she
really
did a
good
good
on that
job.
part. And so now, I thought one of the funny scenes was when they were inside the house of Miss Tootie's, and they were taking the headshot. They were doing the I call them headshots because I'm an actor.
The avatars, the profile pics.
Yeah, the profile pics. And so, they have this lady who's she's kind of like the, I guess, the spokesperson for
the sauce.
For the sauce. And Callie is she looks like a white Italian version of a mammy. And she's like, no, I'm not Italian, I'm Armenian. And Callie is,
What the hell
I'm
is
saying
Armenian?
Callie, I'm sorry, Maggie. Mag is like, what is an Armenian?
You're right.
Which I thought was pretty funny.
That was very funny.
Yeah, I love that there were just two different perceptions. Like Maggie recognized that it was a stereotype and was offended by it, even though she didn't truly even understand ethnicities and what they should look like anyway.
Yeah.
And then Miss Tootie had the same perception, but in a good way. Oh, this is perfect. She looks like a
She looked like what is it? Ancient
Italian
Mama?
Mrs.
Ancient Mama?
Butterworth
Yeah,
is what
Miss
she said.
Butterworth,
Yeah. It was funny.
I thought it was funny. And then so Trayvon, so Miss Tootie is getting ready for her profile pic because now she wants to now try this whole online dating thing.
Yes. She's trying to get it in.
She's trying to get it in, and she goes into what she's looking for. She wants, a religious man, someone who respects the fact that she's a business. She just has this whole.
She's an independent woman.
Yeah, she's into home decor, all that.
Right.
Yeah.
And so she's into all of this. What do you think about the fact that Mrs. Tootie now wants to get into the whole social media, the online dating thing?
I think it's hilarious. What did you think? I thought you were about
Wasn't
to say
it
something.
inspired by marketing for the stuff, for the sauce anyway? Isn't that what kind of like sparked it? For some reason I thought that's what sparked it. Like she wanted to get into, like it had to do with marketing. in the business.
No, I thought that. No, I just think that it just happened to happen the same day because they had the camera out and Trayvon was going to help her do that too.
Okay.
Yeah, she's just trying to get her freak on.
I think she should get her freak on. Miss Tootie cute.
Yes, she is.
Miss Tootie.
Miss Tootie. Yo, Vic is out of control with his old suits.
Yes. His clothes are off the chain.
And speaking of Vic, so now when they're at the community garden, Vic with Councilman, I forgot it was just Councilman, which is played by DC Curry. So now they're there with the protesters across the street, and they're causing havoc, and Fish is not liking it. It seems that Vic is not going away with this.
Yeah, Vic is convinced that Jesus is just a bum and a con man that has everybody under a trance and is trying to build some cult
leader.
Yeah.
Which is really funny.
But what was so funny was he brought this councilman over who so happened to be a former pimp from Long Beach.
Who had a one-eyed...
Aren't all councilmen?
A one-eyed worker.
No, I'm just kidding.
He had a one-eyed worker in the past.
Right.
One-eyed worker.
Wait, what are you cutrateBitches.com? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. It was funny. He had on earrings. And he had on 2 earrings, not just one, like old school 90s, 2
and
earrings.
And a sharp
like,
suit.
Like he was a pretty boy. Like he was still like 19 years old. I was like, why is he wearing 2 earrings like it's 93 and he's a 19-year-old. That was hilarious. Like that whole scene was funny.
What I thought was also hilarious is when Fish and them leaving the car, there was something that Vic said to DC Curry's character. He said...
you used to run hoes, nigga?
Yeah, that was it.
Right. And then, what's his name?
Booney?
Booney. And Booney was like, he told Vic, you're not supposed to wash your suit with your
jeans. Your suit jacket with your jeans.
And he looked at himself.
And he looked at himself like
crying.
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Okay, so now let's go forward. So now that Vic obviously is not letting up on this. So now you have Black Jesus fishing them. You have them all now in the out in front of the apartments.
Right.
And so now they're trying to figure out what to do. And so Black Jesus says, "Let's all pray."
Right.
Fish is not wanting to pray.
He's like, "Get that blanket off me."
He's like, "Get the blanket off me." And so when they have this prayer, this reminded me of church so much because they're doing this prayer. And it's like right when you think, okay, in Jesus' name we pray, then you got this preacher that want to go on and on and on and on and on and on. And what's funny is like my dad, who's a minister, when you pray too long, he will cut you off.
What will he say?
Amen.
No.
Yes, he will. If you're praying long and you're going on and on and on, he'd be like,
in all settings or just at the Thanksgiving dinner table?
No, like at church. If you go on too long, he'll either if it's me, he'll clear his throat, telling me like basically hurry up. Or if we're like in the church setting, yeah, he'll be like, all right, in Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Wow. I would love to experience that live.
Yeah. I'd like to experience a long prayer from you.
I'd like to experience a prayer from you.
Really?
Short or long.
Thank you, Jesus. Amen.
Well, anyway,
Heavenly Father.
I thought the prayer was long, and then once Fish says, "All right, nigga,"
right,
he says, "Amen." And
how you gonna sit there and big himself up during the prayer the whole time? In my most wonderful, masterful, my most benevolent name, he was just like going on. Talking like bigging himself up. It was like, for real?
He goes in.
He goes in.
She goes in.
He goes in, but that's
my most benevolent.
That's what preachers do. They will go in and they'll just keep going and going and going and going, and you're just like, at that moment,
come on.
Yeah, your eyes are closed, and then the next thing you know, you like looking up around and just like.
Fish never closed his eyes.
Fish never closed his eyes. I think everybody looked up except for Trayvon. Trayvon is a loyal servant.
Boy,
man.
yes he is.
You have to have
that Trayvon. I love that Trayvon.
Yeah, he's very faithful to Black Jesus.
That was great casting, by the way, by having him play that part.
I love Andrew Bachelor.
He's a funny dude. If you ever watch his Vine videos, you see how diverse he is.
Yeah, because he's nothing like Trayvon.
He's not, but that's what makes it funny. So
yeah.
I'm sure when he read the breakdown, it was kind of like, oh, I'm gonna nail this character.
And
like,
he did.
Yeah,
he nailed it in the audition.
Yeah.
He's just fantastic. And he says funny little things sometimes under his breath that you really have to pay attention to Trayvon and catch. Like he's just, everything he says is funny.
Like in episode 5 when the Mexicans was saying, you know, how short is him, and he was like,
well, actually, I'm 5'10".
Yeah, actually, I'm
5'8",
I'm 5'10". Yeah, he's very quiet, but he really drops
with
those.
Shalinka.
Yeah.
When because Shalinka beat him up in episode 4,
Right.
and then him and G went to the house. He said, "Let me just take a few steps back before she comes." Like everything he says is just that batch, man. He's
Who plays
talented.
Shalinka?
Dominique Whitten.
She
is a
scared the
comedian.
heck out of me.
Shout out to Dominique. She is an amazing comedian. She's on Def Comedy Jam. She's on the Tom Joyner Morning Show. She's amazing.
Yeah, she was funny, and she
amazing.
She played the hell out of that role.
Yeah, she was
did.
fantastic.
I was like, oh, she nailed this character.
She's fantastic.
Every aspect of that role, she like nailed, because when Black Jesus is like, you know, he was like, yeah, you know, we got a community garden. She's like, I heard, like just the subtle things that she said or how she said it, like
and a lot of it sometimes was improv too. Like when she would say, "Ain't nobody talking to you, Trayvon. She just don't even need no assistant." She just would make stuff up.
So that was improv.
Yeah, it was improv.
That was great.
She's good.
She's funny.
She's really is.
Just things just come to her. She's fantastic.
Well, and speaking of fantastic, we want to talk about all the fantastic fans that we have out there that's always supporting us on iTunes. So make sure you guys continue to support us here at AfterBuzz TV and go to iTunes, subscribe, comment, rate, and tell a friend.
And if you guys want to call in and, you know, put your 2 cents in, ask us any questions, ask our beautiful guest here, Amber Bickham, any questions while she's here, while we got her here. You guys can call in 424-256-1633, 424-256-1633.
Watch a cast member call in and ask me something.
Amber, what you doing there?
I was just thinking like, oh, Lord, who's going to call? All right, so now... So now that Vic has it out for him, and now that Vic has it out for Black Jesus, Miss Tootie gets her first notification from I guess like there's these apps now that's online when you're dating. There's these apps where it literally tells you like someone lives 2.2 miles from you. And so it was one of those kind of apps, and so Vic Pictures pops up.
Right.
And it was a selfie too. He was like all teeth, like look at the camera. That was hilarious.
Let's talk about the date.
One of my favorite moments.
Miss Tootie and Vic. Did you see that coming? Did you see or predict that?
Yes.
How did you predict it? At what point did you predict it?
As soon as she said that she was trying to get her freak on.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, it's gonna be Vic. I mean,
right,
because
it wouldn't be Lloyd. Right.
It wouldn't be anybody else. It has to be somebody else. It's gonna be Vic.
What do you guys think about? So Vic and Tootie are on a date. They're at Vic's house, and so she's cooking for him.
I got gas watching him eat all that pasta.
Yeah.
I was like, he must have been eating a lot. Like she fed him a lot. Even on a date, I'm like, how do you eat that much and think about getting your freak on a full stomach like that?
Of spaghetti.
Right. I've been passing gas.
Disgusting.
I've been me.
Well, I wasn't passing gas when I saw it, but I thought it was funny. Like, I like the idea of seeing Charlie Murphy in a different way and seeing Vic in a different way. So seeing Vic high and smiling and playing the guitar and making up dances.
Oh, that was hilarious. And
thrusting in the air like that. They had a really good date. But the only difference was Miss Tootie knew she was high and Vic didn't. So when she came off that high, she realized it was a high. When Vic came off the high, he didn't realize that it was a high.
And she also played him.
Yes.
She played him, and she got.
But I think she had a good time with him too. I mean,
yeah.
I don't think that she faked having a good time.
No, I don't think she faked having a good time. I think she genuinely had a good time with Vic. She even kissed him at the end of the day. So I think she had some sugar on him. But she's also a businesswoman. She's always about her money. So at the same time, she knows that Vic has it out for the community garden. So she got him to lay off.
Yeah, because she let him into that while he was eating. So you're not really gonna trip off this garden, right? Yeah. She definitely did that to him.
I think it's really more about Jesus for Vic than it's really about the garden. I think they could still keep running the garden, but if Jesus went away, I think it's more about Jesus.
Yeah, her problem with him. His problem with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He totally has it out for Jesus. Totally doesn't believe him. So the date's over, and the next morning.
Thirsty.
So the fellas are outside in the hangout area of the apartment complex, and Vic.
One of the best scenes.
I don't even know how to even describe that. Vic is PW without even getting it. I don't even know how else to explain it.
Yeah.
That scene with him and the guys,
Corey.
and then going back and forth, with Booney.
Booney. Yeah.
Vic and Booney. That probably is on my top 3 scenes now.
Yeah. Because
of the show.
Vic keeps going in and it's just on, and Booney's like, the fuck are you talking about?
Right.
Like, it's just like he can't even keep up with it. And I love when Vic says, and usually, I fuck on the first date.
Right.
And I didn't do nothing with your mom, not even oral.
Not even oral, right.
It's like, what?
He was just on a tangent.
He went in.
He did. He says, we fell in love when me and your mama get married. I'm gonna be your father, boy. Can you imagine being the character of Booney trying to fathom the fact that you got this dude over here who you don't really like is professing to
don't like him at all.
Yeah, who's now professing to be in love with your mother and saying, boy,
that he just went on a date with, talking about I'm gonna be your father, and he's a grown man with his own kids. Talking about I'm gonna be your father.
Plus his high is worn off. So what I think is cool about it is Vic could actually be a nice, pleasant person if he wanted to, because he's not even high anymore and he's in a good mood.
Yeah.
Right.
But because he doesn't know that he was drugged, he thinks it's just a continual thing.
Was he drugged?
He was given God's love.
Exactly.
God's love.
He been whipped with the ghost, the Holy Ghost.
Then they had the nerve to tell him to go take the trash out.
Right, and then
and then he does talking to your friends.
Yeah, I need you to go upstairs. I need you to take the trash out. Now, was that a part of the script, or was some of that improv?
A lot of it was script, and then it was a mixture of the two, because the scene was already really, really funny. But sometimes Charlie might try to throw a line at Corey to throw Corey off, and then Corey, because they're comedians.
Yeah.
So every now and then they would volley back and forth, and it wasn't on the script. But the scene as it was written was very funny, and that's pretty much what it was.
That is pretty good.
That was a funny scene.
That was Aaron's vision for it to be that way. Yeah.
Black Jesus calls Miss Tootie, and Miss Tootie has 38 text messages.
Blew up her phone.
Vic done blew up Miss Tootie's phone.
Yes.
He's in love.
And he's
with all the texts, did you read some of those?
I saw
texts?
some of them. I wrote them down. There was something about a soulmate. There was I love you, and there was a couple other ones, but those
Miss
only
Tootie,
two.
Tootie.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yeah, he went in.
But even the way he even said,
Miss Tootie's a cutie.
Yeah.
Miss Tootie's a cutie.
And even the way when he was outside, he was like, Miss Tootie, Miss Tootie.
Right.
Miss Tootie, Tootie.
And now Miss Tootie knows that she has a problem because she's like, oh boy.
But Miss Tootie is a bad woman though, because she comes out there like she knows what she did, and this is because she gave him the tomatoes. But she also lives it like she's been here before. Like, oh, got another one fiending for me again. Like this is not new to her. I'm saying Miss Tootie got a past.
We talked about that last week.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say it passed like that because I don't want no problems with Angela Gibbs. I'm just saying that, Miss Tootie,
well,
has a relationship.
Last week when her car was stolen, Booney said,
Yeah, I want nothing to do with Booney's coming. I am not co-signing on that.
Okay, well,
I just think that, Miss Tootie is a wonderful woman that gentlemen callers like. That's all I'll say.
Okay,
I don't want no problems with my sister.
I'll say this because I asked her about it because she didn't realize that Booney said this.
Yeah.
So she was like, Booney, he said what? So Booney, when Booney was running down the street, he said something to the effect of, do you know what my mama had to do, or something in regards to his mama had to give up ass in order to get the car.
Yeah, I think that was an improv line. That's probably why she didn't know.
I believe it was an improv line.
Yeah.
And so I asked Miss Tootie, I said, Miss Tootie, is your character, is she a hoe?
No, Miss Tootie's not no hoe. Not at all. I think Miss Tootie has lived, but I don't think Miss Tootie is a hoe. Okay. Hey, Angela.
I mean, she obviously don't have a good relationship with Booney's daddy. She talks
But
about
that
him
might
like
be
a dog.
that might be Booney's daddy fault. We don't know that until we meet Booney's daddy.
That's true.
Yes,
So
because as my friend Marquetta says, there are 3 sides to every story. So that would be Miss Tootie's side, Booney's daddy's side, and what actually happened.
Right.
So we'll see.
But I did say this last week when Angela was here. Mrs. Tootie, when she looks at Booney, she sees Booney's dad, which
Right.
is why she's so like every episode it has something to do with something in regards to your daddy.
Yeah.
So it's something that went on in their relationship where she's taken her feelings out on Booney because obviously there's a parallel. They must obviously favor or do something. So I personally wonder.
She associates everything with
everything.
I do wonder, and this will be something I guess we can ask you now. For when I predict season 2 is gonna come.
Received.
So with that being said, who do you think would be a good actor to play Booney's dad?
It really depends. And it's funny because over the past week, I've kind of been obsessing over the idea just to get ahead of the curve. And it depends. And it depends on what Aaron wants. Do we want Booney's dad to look a lot like Booney? If we want him to look a lot like Booney, then I think someone like John Amos or someone like that. But I feel like, to me, it would be very entertaining. Or Wendell Pierce from The Wire. Or what's the actor's name from The Wire that was Remember him? Remember the guy from The Wire?
I've never seen The Wire.
I never seen The Wire either.
Okay, well there's this very iconic character, and he would always go she. Anyway, him. I just feel like it would be cool if Booney's dad is supposed to look like Booney.
About. I know exactly who you're talking about because he does it almost in every movie.
He does in everything.
He does in everything.
It would be cool, like if Booney's dad's supposed to look a lot like Booney in the physical sense of it. I would like it to be a cameo where as soon as you see him, you're really excited about seeing him. Or what if Booney's dad used to look like Booney, but he got his shit together, and now he's Dennis Haysbert, and he looks like that?
That's exactly what I was thinking the whole time. Dennis Haysbert.
So it just depends on.
He'd be great for it, I think.
Or Mario Van Peebles, just somebody just fly.
I thought
that just got it together.
I thought whoever Booney's dad would be has to be like the cream of the crop, like some top A-list actor, because there's so much talk about.
I definitely think it should be a cameo.
Yeah.
I definitely think it should be a cameo, but I don't know if it's too famous, will it be distracting? It just really depends.
Yeah, I think
it just depends.
I think a Dennis Haysbert would be good. I think because you have to think that Miss Tootie wouldn't be with he would be with a fly dude. I mean, she would be with a fly dude. So,
but not the way she talks about Booney. That's the thing. So if Booney's dad is a no good lazy nigga, then he should look like a no good lazy nigga. Or was he a no good lazy nigga and then Miss Tootie kicked him to the curb and he got his shit together and now he's in his Haysbert.
Yeah.
And because he lost, 80 pounds. It just kind of depends on which way Aaron wants to take it. I don't know.
Maybe she just scorned, so she just talks all this shit and he's really not anything like how she says.
Oh, or maybe Booney never even met his father. Maybe they broke up when Booney was like 5. And so she just paints this picture of him being a lazy, no good fat nigga, and he's not that at all.
Right. And then Booney grew up like that because she was always talking shit.
Exactly.
But he's really nothing like that.
But in actuality, he's fine and like a CEO, and his wife is white. You know what I mean? Like, you just never, I don't know. Just, whatever Mr. McGruder and Mike Clattenburg want is what it will be, and then I'll just cast accordingly. So we'll see.
I think that
There's a lot of fun ways to play it.
Right. And then is there the potential of Angela Gibbs' mom, Marla, potentially come into play?
We don't have a season 2 just yet, but Marla's definitely interested. She came to set and she had a really great time being there, and she loves the show, and she already came up with ideas for her character that doesn't even exist. So she definitely wants to do it.
Okay.
So I can't see why she wouldn't if she wants to do it if we have season 2. But again, that's on Aaron. As Miss Tootie's mom.
Yeah.
I would love to see that.
Yeah, that's what she wants to do. And Angela wants it too, so we'll see.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I think it would be very exciting.
I think it would be great too. Well, let's get right back into it. So now Mrs. Tootie basically now has to break down to Vic that it's a wrap, it's over.
Yes.
And so now they're at some kind of a dinner or something, and Vic is just not.
Nah.
He's not trying to have it. Like Miss Tootie's trying to tell him, like, look, what does she say? She says, it ain't gonna work. I'm a stoner. I get fucked up, nigga. It ain't gonna work.
Matter of fact, I'm high right now.
Right. and he's like, it's about the calm man, that dusty bath bed and beyond robe wearing nigga put you up to this.
Right.
So Tootie is very blunt as far as this is not working.
Right.
Vic has it in his own mind that it's all about Black Jesus.
Yeah.
And so that's where I think it gets really interesting, because will we see Vic, because there is a part 2, will we see Vic still continuing to go after Mrs. Tootie, or will he go after Black Jesus? Like, there's so many different ways that this can go, because he even said when they were having the conversation earlier, he mentioned something about how he's going to be with Mrs. Tootie, but you need to stay away from him. He was like, Black Jesus, I need you to stay away from Miss Tootie.
Right.
So you kind of do wonder how this is gonna pan out for the rest of the episodes.
I think he's gonna get over the fact that Miss Tootie is not feeling him, and then he's gonna even fuel the flames of him going after Black Jesus. It's gonna make it worse for him. Actually, it's gonna heighten the stakes. You know, and now he has more fuel to the fire of hating Black Jesus.
Why do you guys think that he didn't believe her and wasn't accepting her breakup? Like, what was your perception of that?
I'll say man's ego. Man's ego, like, you don't want this.
What do you think?
I think maybe he's just still off that high. You know, he's still on that high. You know, he's had the best feeling ever, and he's lonely.
Yeah.
He's a lonely dude.
Yeah.
You know, that's why he can't do nothing but, you know, just mess with the convict, you know. He's always on him. Like, leave him alone. Like, what are you doing?
He doesn't have anything else to do.
He has no
manages
companionship.
the apartment, which is not exactly a 9 to 5. So he doesn't really have anything to do all day.
Now, what do you think about Mrs. Tootie? Because Mrs. Tootie, she doesn't have a man. So why do you think Miss Tootie broke up with Vic, besides the fact of maybe she felt wrong for what she did to him?
I think she broke up with Vic because he was on one at 6 a.m. outside her house. That would have been enough. That would have been enough. That was too much.
Yeah. I don't think she planned on keeping him anyway.
I don't think she might not have planned on keeping him, but I don't think that she would have broken up with him that way. He was tripping. Plus, Jesus didn't like the idea of what she did either, and she doesn't, you know, she wants to listen to her Lord and Savior.
One of the funniest things that Tootie said, she said, "This ain't the first nigga obsessed with Tootie."
Exactly.
She said, "You see all this? Like, for real."
Yo, her profile pic was smoking. Y'all saw her profile pic?
Yeah.
She was giving sexy eyes in that profile pic.
That was hilarious. Oh my goodness.
That was quite hilarious. So now the last part that we want to discuss before we, you know, discuss your career and everything else.
Okay.
In the very last scene, we have Jason and Diane, who are together eating dinner, and so Jason already realizes that Miss Tootie, what you did to Vic is a brilliant idea. So now he goes and takes the same idea of what Miss Tootie did to Vic, and now he takes it and he uses it on his girlfriend Diane to deflect what's going on in the relationship and with the Jays and stuff. What do you guys think about that whole scenario?
Well, I think that Miss Tootie and Jason both tried to use the tomatoes as a way to hypnotize them, and it didn't work that way. But that's in their mind what they thought that they could do, because he gave Diane the tomatoes and then said, "You're not really worried about us anymore, baby, right?" And she's like, "No, I'm not worried about a thing." I think that they try to use it for that, and but he hadn't seen the after effects of Vic and Tootie and, you know, Jesus being angry and all that.
Now,
I might slip them on to somebody. I'm not even gonna lie. If there were green tomatoes, and I might give a tomato or two to somebody. You'd eat a tomato.
I know some people that need it. I'd be eating tomatoes all day. I wanted to actually try that sauce. I was like, that would look good, like pesto.
It did look good.
It did look good.
I'll pass.
You'll pass?
Yeah.
You'll pass on the Lord's God's love and kindness.
Yeah, I definitely think I would be tempted to slip it to somebody, especially if it's not a drug. It's not gonna hurt anybody. It's just gonna make them nice and filled with God's love. I might slip it to a couple of people.
God's love in the sauce.
I will fall into that temptation.
Slip it to somebody.
You wouldn't slip it to anybody?
Actually, there's a couple people that I would slip it to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what's interesting is Jason has been very adamant about trying to get Diane to go to the garden.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is going to backfire on him.
Why?
I don't know why, but just the thought of because it would be too easy for her to go and to see everything go well. I think that will be the easy route. So I feel like the shit needs to hit the fan. And I feel like that's probably why there's a part 2. Plus, you have the situation with Vic. So
plus, the horses are still running around the hood.
But what do you think that Diane would see? Because there's no weed there, and it's a community growing vegetables. It looks like a pretty a garden on the up and up.
Well, they are.
Where's the money though? Yeah,
the money and they're selling the tomatoes to these cannabis. Like, I can't figure it out yet.
Okay.
But just let me think about it, and then I'll hit you on Twitter. But it's too easy for her to just go and everything is great.
Right.
So I think something has hit the fan.
Those horses are still running around.
Yeah, Diane's character is interesting because she's young, so she's a young detective, which means that she must have worked very hard to get through the ranks to even get to detective status at such a young age. So she takes her job very seriously, and I think that Valencia plays that very well because everything about Diane, she takes it too seriously.
Yeah.
But when she's not a detective, she's sweet and nice and buying her boyfriend J's and that kind of thing. So
speaking of young, I have to admit that when I went into the casting of Black Jesus and I saw you. I said, oh, she's awfully young for a casting director.
Yes.
So I was happy about that. And so now let's talk about you and how did you become a part of this project for casting for Black Jesus?
Well, thank you for that compliment. People usually think that I'm younger than I am. I'm 35.
Dang, she just put it out there.
I'm not afraid.
That's impressive.
So the Adult Swim reached out to me. Someone in the development department, shout out to Walt Newman, reached out to me who I had known for a while and sent me the script, but he didn't say Aaron McGruder, he just sent me the script. And so I read it and I was like, whoa, what is this? And then I called him back and then he told me Aaron. And then I reread it and I read it from a completely different perspective. It had a completely different tone than it did going into it cold. Because once he said Aaron, I got satire. I got the vibe of Boondocks. I got it. And then I read it again and then I saw it a completely different way. So I agreed to do it. And then we just started casting the main characters. And Slink was in every pre-read with me, which was a lot of fun.
Okay.
So Slink read with every actor, the good, the bad, the ones that tried to molest him to try to get a role, just everything. Man, this one woman literally was trying to touch his butt in the scene, and she was auditioning for Miss Tootie, so she was a mom. So it was like a mom character.
Wow.
And but I didn't see it. Like Slink told me after she left because his butt was not facing me, and he was so uncomfortable and was like, I didn't know what to do. And we rewatched the tape, and I could see her arm go down, and I'm thinking, so Slink was there the whole ride, and it was a lot of fun.
Jesus?
Yes, and he's Jesus. He's playing Jesus.
How you gonna molest Jesus?
Man, this woman tried to molest our poor Slink Johnson.
Wow.
She did.
Try to molest our Lord. Shame on you, whoever you are.
So we cast the pilot and shot the pilot. Then the show was picked up, but we shot the pilot as if it was going to be a 15-minute, and then it got picked up as a 30. So then we added more characters, Maggie and Miss Tootie, and then went to series. So it's been a long journey. I started in April of last year, the pilot. Yeah.
I got to be honest. The one thing that I do not like about the show is that it is not longer. That's the one thing that irritates me because I'm like, dang it, it's over already. It pisses me off.
But
I wish it was like maybe, I don't know, 40 minutes or something.
But I think
what shows are 40 minutes?
But I don't know. Like,
think,
like there's some like Netflix shows or whatever that are like.
I think you feel the way only because you watch it online through demand. If you're watching it at 11 o'clock for 30 minutes where you have to go through commercials and go through the full 30 minutes, I don't feel you would feel that same way.
I mean, I definitely want more after it's over.
Yeah, that's the feeling I get. I just want I want more. I want to watch more. I wish it was longer. That's why I just wish it was longer.
Yeah. but you really take to the characters. Like I tweeted you when you did the John Witherspoon impression. You do a very good John Witherspoon. I love John. John's fantastic.
Bang, bang, bang.
Well, okay, so speaking of John Witherspoon, what was it like, casting, say like John Witherspoon and Charlie Murphy? Were they someone who were already in the works, or did they have to audition for some of the bigger characters?
Aaron definitely had already wanted Charlie, and then for the pilot, the homeless man was only really in one scene at first, and then John was just so amazing that it became bigger than that. But they didn't audition. They're John Witherspoon and Charlie Murphy. So those are just people that Aaron wanted. Yeah, definitely. And they're fantastic.
Yeah, they have intangible qualities they bring to a set and to a scene that nobody else can bring to the table.
If anyone else played if anyone else played Lloyd, you might not like Lloyd because he's always messing stuff up and he's lying and he's conniving, but he's so lovable the way that John plays him. I love Lloyd, especially the episode 3, the shit heist, when he tore apart Fish's apartment.
Right. That was hilarious.
Yeah, he ate all his food.
That's good. Yeah.
Yep. He stripped down all his clothes, and I love how easily he's able to manipulate Vic.
Me too. And I was saying that I like the dynamic of their relationship because they're slowly but surely becoming friends. They need each other. Obviously, Lloyd needs Vic more, and so he always finds ways to manipulate him. But then, Vic, as we've said, he's lonely. He doesn't have a woman, so he needs a friend.
Right.
So in the very oddest way, Vic and Lloyd are friends. And
it's interesting because if you notice, I think it was in the first episode, Vic goes to go talk to Lloyd. He already knows Lloyd's name. So prior to this whole Jesus thing, Vic knew Lloyd's name. So I wonder what their life was like before Vic was commissioning Lloyd to do stuff. Because he knew his name. So if Vic is the way that he is, how did he even get to know this homeless person's name? I find that interesting.
That is interesting.
That is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. So now I want to continue on. So you did the casting of this. Were there any other interesting, castings that
for the show or for other shows?
For the show, I want to get into some other stuff, but for Black Jesus.
Let's see. Angela Gibbs had an amazing audition. I won't go into detail about it because I always go into detail about it, and she laughs because I was in her presence. But she had one of the best auditions I've ever seen.
Really?
One of the best auditions. One of our audition scenes was episode 5 where they go to steal her car back. And so in the room, there's just chairs. And Angela was on the ground, and she was rolling around, and she was shooting fake. It was the most amazing thing I'd ever seen in my life. She just really came in to get that role. So she had an amazing, amazing audition.
What about some of the other ones? Like you had Antoine Tanner, you had Kelly Hawk, you had Andra Fuller. When you're casting, say for like Black Jesus, what is it that embodies to you? How do you know when someone is, this is the person, this is the person, this is this person, he's this person, or he or she's this person?
Oh, that's a good question. I listen to Aaron and Mike. What I do is, after I've read the script, I go through all the roles, and I literally ask them, do you want this or do you want that? Do you want this person to be attractive? Do you want the moment we see this person, we're laughing before they even say anything? When we see this person, do we trust them? Like, I even ask, what is the goal of how the viewer is going to prejudge them? So I just, from top to bottom, I ask a lot of questions about how they perceive the role. And then once I have all of that and I start to see people, it just kind of just happens. And with Angela, not only did Miss Tootie have to be all the things that she is, but she's also still a mom and has a great relationship with Jesus.
Right.
And she loves Jesus and Jesus loves her. And they're very much so friends. And when Angela left, Slink we all did. We missed her. Like when she pre-read an audition and she left, we missed her presence.
Right.
And Slink talked about her all day. Like, damn, I love Angela Gibbs. Like, we just gotta get Angela. Like, he talked about Angela for like a week because she just had this warm thing to her, but also didn't take any mess. And that was what Aaron was looking for. So for a lot of people, it was that. And with Jason has to be smart enough to pull a detective. There has to be something going. He has to have potential for a detective to see to want to date him. So that's why Antoine Tanner made sense. And then Fish is the one that, could you imagine like a hood dude in Compton and one day Jesus just pops up and that's your friend? Like, Fish is the one that's just really struggling with being who he's been for however many years he's existed on this earth and having to edit himself now that Jesus is his friend. But Jesus also speaks the same language as him, and also Jesus can be a little indignant at times. So it's very hard for him to coexist. And I feel like if I was any character on the show, if Jesus was to really come back, I would be Trayvon. Like, I appreciate Trayvon.
Right.
He's faithful no matter what he does, whatever Jesus says. He's always by his side. Like, there would be that person. I feel like the show just really embodies realistically how things would happen. There would be an atheist cop that thought that this was a cult leader and try to get him off the street.
Right.
There would be that. There would be an indignant person like Lloyd who knows he's Jesus, but is still like, fuck you because you won't give me the lotto numbers. Like, there would be a person that would ask Jesus for the lotto numbers and then feel a type of way when Jesus wouldn't give them to him.
Right.
So that's what I love about the show, because I think if Jesus really came back to Compton, a lot of these people exist. And a lot of these experiences would really happen. So I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm a fan of Black Jesus.
We are a fan of Black Jesus.
It's like a homeless
Fantastic
person that asks for $1 and then cuss you out.
He can cuss you out.
I've seen that happen. Like, people ask for $1 and then you're like, no, sorry. And then they cuss you out.
There was this one time I was on you know where Highland pours into La Brea, and it's like Samson and La Brea right there. There was a guy that had he was like, he said, I was a homeless vet. I need $1. Please give me $1. Is what the sign said. So my friend was sitting next to me, and we had just come from Roscoe's, and she's like, oh, can you give him my Roscoe's? And I could tell by his vibe that he's not going to take Roscoe's. He looked like this crazy militant ex-vet. I didn't even want to talk to this man. I said, I'll roll down my window, but you have to talk to him. So I rolled down my window, and he leaned into my window, and she said, hi, we just came from Roscoe's, and I want to I didn't really eat all of it. Here's like half a waffle and some chicken. And he leaned into my window now, like to where he's like right here, but he's looking at her. And he said, can't you read the fucking sign? It says dollars. I hope you fucking catch cancer, you idiot. And he walked away, and I was dying.
What?
And she was in tears because he was so angry. Those people are crazy. But no, it really happened. And she was crying, and I thought it was so funny because I told her, I told you not to give this man no waffle. That sign clearly says give me $1.
Oh my
and he looks crazy. But I've been to New York, and the homeless people in New York are like that.
There's some out here like that too.
Yeah.
Well, yes, on La Brea.
Before
I'm staying away from that.
Man,
I'm staying away from that intersection.
I want to just go a little bit into some of the other stuff that you did. Now, you were a part of the In Living Color when it was supposed to be revamped a couple of years ago. And so you did the casting, I guess, for the episode, for the pilot or episode 1?
Yeah, it was supposed to be a special bringing back In Living Color, like the 25th anniversary. It was like an anniversary for Fox. And there were supposed to be a bunch of different specials for different shows, like Married with Children, a few different things.
But it didn't never happen.
Well, it was cast and it was shot. I don't know what happened with it.
Okay, gotcha. And then, so let's talk about Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Jimmy Kimmel.
You did casting.
It's such a big show now.
It's huge. And so you did 33 episodes back in 2006. What did you do as on Jimmy Kimmel?
I cast the sketches for the first act. And when I worked on Kimmel, Guillermo, who's a security guard, was still literally a security guard there. He's not now, and now he's like a part of the show, but he literally worked at the show and was security. And then when he was doing an episode, he would do an episode and do a sketch or whatever, but he literally was security at that door.
That's funny.
Yeah, Jimmy uses a lot of his people. His cousin Sal is really his cousin Sal. His uncle is really his uncle. Like, anyone that was playing security for the show was really security for the show.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
What made you get into casting?
Oh, well, I had some friends, Megan Good and Ty Hodges, who at the time were being typecast. Like Ty Hodges was on a show called Even Stevens on Disney. And so he could only do Disney type stuff. He could only get in the room for that. And at the time, Megan was very much a sex symbol. So, and they were best friends. So Ty wrote a project called Miles from Home where he got to play an edgier role. And then Megan got to play a bubbly, non-sexy type, which is actually a lot like her real life persona.
I've seen it.
And she asked, I get surprised people see it because it was so long ago. But so they asked me to cast it, and I said, I don't know anything about casting. And Ty said, you're so particular about actors, and you have such a strong opinion about who's in what, you'd be great at it. So they showed me what sides were and what breakdowns were, and I went to performing arts high school. So once an actor came in and I had to read with them, it just became second nature. And then the film got attention from festivals, and it just started to just get me work, and I just became a casting director. So that was Ty and Megan. I'm a casting director because of Ty Hodges and Megan Good.
Hi, Ty
their
Hodges
idea.
and Megan Good.
Hi, Ty and Megan. Yeah.
Are there ever moments when you're casting and someone looks the part and you feel visually they're perfect for the part, but maybe they did a terrible read?
Yes. Yeah, but terrible in different ways. Like if someone is perfect and I can tell they had a bad performance because they're thinking about the words, then I'll let them improv it with me. I'll say, this is the scenario. Like for Jason, when people read for Jason, I was Diane, and I'm basically arguing with you, telling you I don't want you hanging out with homeless dudes, was basically the scene that we did, which was the first episode. So if someone was stumbling through that, I'd say, put the sides down. Let's not worry about the words. I'm Diane, you're Jason. You're not supposed to be hanging with this dude. You're supposed to be finding a job, and I just caught you on the corner. I'm about to confront you. Let's go. And then I'll say, Jason, what are you doing out here? And then we'll go back and forth, and then I'll pull it out of him through that way, and then I'll just film that version of the performance.
Got you.
Yeah.
There's a method to the madness.
Sometimes. Because when people get caught up in the words, you can see them thinking about the next word, and so then they're not acting.
Right.
Or worse, they're coming in and they're reading from a paper. Whew.
How about
that's rough.
How about reading someone and then like, oh, they have a good read, but you're like, they'll be good for this other role.
Oh, that happens a lot. Yeah.
This person will be perfect for this other character.
Yeah.
How do you like make that? Does it like hit you when someone's playing, like reading for one character, and then it just hits you upside the head that is like they'll be perfect for this other character?
Yeah,
that's
it happens
nothing
a
like
lot.
that character.
Yeah, it happens a lot. Yeah, and it's happened a lot on this show. I can't say who and when and why, but it's happened on this show. There are people that auditioned for one thing and got something different, or people that auditioned for series regulars roles that ended up being day players for something else.
Speaking of that, I want to, the Hispanics, the Mexicans that they call them,
The Cholos, Spider and DeCarlo.
Really quickly, what was the process? What was the audition process like for that? Because those two guys are hilarious, Carlos and Marcelo.
Looking for Trigger and Spider was really an embarrassment of riches because there were so many amazing Latino actors that came in for that. Like, we literally had 7 that were top choices, and Mike and Aaron had to figure out which 2 that they liked. Like, there were just so many great people. And I think Marcelo plays Spider. He had that signature hyena laugh. Jesus negro. He did that in the audition. and Aaron loved that. So I think that that's what really made him stand out. And I think Carlos, who played the Trigger, he stood out because he was the scary, menacing one, but he also had comedic timing. Like, a lot of people that came in, they were funny the entire time, or they were straight the entire time. And Carlos could do both, and Marcelo could do both. Because even if he's laughing and joking one moment, it can get serious, and he can pull out a gun. They just had layers that just were perfect, and they worked so well together.
I love it.
And they look nothing like that.
Yeah.
They look nothing like that.
Yeah, in person, they look nothing.
They look nothing like that in person.
Very nice guys.
It was so funny doing the drive-by, and he was like, "Don't look at me. Don't look at me." And he kept shooting. Oh,
because sometimes gangsters have a sense of humor.
Right.
Yeah.
It was funny. They did a good job.
Before we go, tell us a little bit about talentoverstock.com, something that you started a couple years ago.
Oh, yes. Okay, so Talent Overstock was something I started when I first became a casting director, because going back to Ty and Megan and them talking about my passion for casting, it always bothered me when I would see the same people over and over and over again. Even as a viewer for television and film, I get tired of seeing the same 5 black actresses. And so once I first started casting,
talk about that all the time. It's like, for real. Oh, wasn't that her brother in the last movie?
Yeah,
and now they playing boyfriend girl, like, for real. Like,
but when I was younger,
we talk afterwards.
But when I was younger, I just assumed that this was the best that was out there. So when I became a casting director and I started bringing people in, I was like, this person's better than such and such. And it just kept building and building and building. And then the list just got so long of so many people that were more talented than the actors that were working and were just as attractive. And it really started to frustrate me. And then as I talked to actors, because actors really trained me how to be a casting director, which is probably why the casting process with me is very pleasant and fun. It's not very, I'm on a throne, impress me. It's a very cool, lax environment. And a lot of actors said that casting directors are mean, and that and then a lot of the actors that I think are fantastic that never get roles, they say they can't get into rooms, like they can't even get to see these actors. So when I heard that, I said, well, everyone that I think is great, I'm just gonna post on Talent Overstock to say, I've done the work, these people are fantastic, this is what you can use them for, I'm showing my cards, here they are. So that if you don't want to sit through 50 bad people, because sometimes it's hard to sit through a whole day of everybody sucking, but it's so rewarding to me by that 4th hour for someone to come in that's amazing that you know didn't have a shot otherwise. Like I cast Robert Townsend in The Hive, and at the time for the lead for Extra Keys they wanted a star name. And none of the star names that were big then, I thought were good enough to play that role. And so I really wanted Jonathan McDaniel to come in. And he was so amazing. And he was a star of that film. And then that was a domino effect of Jonathan getting so many more opportunities. He's on Hit the Floor now. Mm-hmm. And I like to be a vessel for that. Like, so many people are that. Mm. And, like, Damon Wayans Jr. was on my site before people even knew that there was a Damon Wayans Jr. And I really need to get on it more and post more often, because I probably haven't posted in like a year or 2, which is insane. But there's so many people that are great out there, they're just not getting an opportunity. Like, as great as Angela Gibbs is, why are we just now seeing Angela Gibbs on a regular basis?
I have to agree.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Because people weren't bringing Angela Gibbs in. And so that was the point of Talent Overstock. So, yeah.
We'll talk afterwards.
Yeah, we're gonna name names when these cameras come off.
Let's go into predictions, and then we'll wrap this up.
And now your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
So, Love Thy Neighbor Part 2. I know you can't say much or anything. So, Mr. Thaddeus,
you mean Love Thy Enemy?
Yes, Love Thy Enemy Part 2.
I said neighbor.
Oh, yes.
My bad.
Isn't that on OWN?
Yes.
You watch that?
No.
Yes, he does.
Sure.
But no, I don't have cable. But anyway,
oh my goodness.
What's your prediction for Part 2 for next week?
Something has to happen with these horses that keep trotting around. They still galloping around. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like something with Diane. I think Diane has to come over to the garden, and something is not gonna be copacetic. How many episodes we have left? Like
4.
We have 4 episodes left?
Yeah.
Okay, so Vic is still going to pursue Miss Tootie. Mm-hmm. But it's going to turn more into this fuel this flame that's been fueled against Black Jesus even more. So I don't even know what's going to happen with this councilman either. I don't know if he's going to come back. Some of this councilman situation, something might occur with that as well.
Well, I'm going to predict, in addition to, I think it's going to hit the fan with Diane coming to the garden.
Yep.
We've seen a lot with some of the characters, but we still haven't seen Fish's backstory. We still haven't seen Mags, and we haven't seen Trayvon's. So I think that before the season 1 is over, they're gonna have to touch on each of these characters, because we've already seen Booney, we've seen Vic, we've seen all these other characters, but I feel like there's more to. I feel like everyone has such a unique story that all brings everyone together, that there has to be something that happens with Fish, or something. There has to be more of his storyline with Fish, Trayvon, and Mag. So I feel like that's gonna be maybe the side B story of what's to be a part of part 2 that's gonna forward into episodes 8, 9, and 10.
Something has to happen with this councilman.
Yeah.
I think you don't bring a DC Curry in just to come in there and look around and get clowned on.
And that is a good point. I do feel he's gonna come.
Something he has to have some weight where he can actually maybe pull a permit type of deal. Like, you guys don't have a permit to be here, blah blah blah. Like, something he can do something. He's a councilman, so he has like some political ties to maybe,
and a pimp and an ex-pimp
You know. He could have some hoes walk through there or something too. I don't know.
Now,
infecting stuff. Who knows?
Amber, is there anything you can tell us of what we can look forward to for the rest of the season?
Yes, really funny episodes.
I tried, you guys. I tried.
Really funny episodes.
Okay. Well, I personally want to thank you for not only for being our guest for AfterBuzz TV, but I just want to thank you because, you know, you were talking about how giving other actors a chance. You gave me a chance, and I've been able to work, you know, since then. So I personally, on national TV, I personally want to thank you for just giving me a chance and opportunity to be a part of Black Jesus. I really, really love the show.
You did a good job. It was fun, wasn't it?
It was.
Yeah,
Thank you so
came
much.
on a good day.
Salad.
So, Amber, let everyone know where you could be found on social media.
Twitter is Amber Bickham. Instagram is Amber Bickham. Everything's Amber Bickham. Yeah.
Amber Bickham's in the house. It's Club Thaddeus at Instagram and Twitter. ClubThadeus and GQJedi.com.
And you can find me on all social media at Bamm Ericsen. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode here at AfterBuzz TV for Black Jesus. We will see you guys next week. Thank you so much.
Peace.
Yay.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.